So this is part of the team representing Calvary Chapel University. This is Devin Berryhill. This is
what's this guy's name?
What's this guy's name? Yeah, you don't have a name tag. I don't know.
It's right there on the thing.
Dave Rolph.
Dave,
Dave Rolph.
That's
hey,
right.
Mr. Rolph.
Dave Rolph. And David Guzik. Yeah, look at that. They put your name up there just in case I forgot it.
Yeah.
So what is Calvary Chapel University, Dave Rolph?
Calvary Chapel University is an organization, an institution that's trying to incorporate various directions of education, whether liberal arts education or ministry-related education, in a Calvary Chapel context, with the worldview that's shared with our Calvary Chapel movement.
Yeah, awesome. And so you've been in Calvary a long time, Dave.
Yes.
And we have at points been almost anti-intellectual, or we've wrestled with the role of education, higher education, and how it interplays with preparing for ministry.
Right.
But Calvary Chapel University is all online.
Right.
Which seems to work in such a symbiotic way with the idea of being able to go out rather early in your Christian walk and do ministry and also be trained at the same time.
That's right. Well, let me make a slight correction to what you say.
Yeah.
There are offline presence of Calvary Chapel University. There is an offline presence of Calvary Chapel University in different places, in different cohorts and groups that get together for collaborative work. Mm-hmm. But it's true that substantially the work is an online university. And one of the things that really impresses me about it is that it's very much dedicated to being a quality university, really seeking after the right levels of accreditation, working hard to achieve those very difficult standards, and in it for the long haul to do something that's going to be of great, great benefit, not only to the Calvary Chapel movement, very much beyond it as well.
Yeah. Because it's online, Devin, the faculty that are involved are all around the country, are spread out all over the country.
Yeah.
Right?
Each of the most of our teachers actually are Calvary Chapel pastors that happen to have higher ed degrees. I could think of a few that are in our ed department as well, who are educators that are PhD level guys that come out of the different Calvary Chapels as either lay leaders or pastors.
Yeah, so there's different. What are some of the degrees that people can get in Calvary Chapel University? What are, if you have a heart for Christian education?
Yeah,
right.
We have basically a certificate level, AA, BA, MA, and in education we have the EdD, the Doctorate of Education. And you can get that in elementary, secondary, administration, curriculum instruction. And on the ministry side, we have a degree in biblical studies. And this is something we started in 2007 for those who want to be more like we have a degree in more of an administrative pastoral degree, like an executive pastor might have, or an assistant pastor might have. We also have biblical counseling. We have women's ministry.
Yeah.
That's something kind of fresh for Calvary, is to have a women's ministry degree. So many times pastors' wives kind of get thrown into, okay, my husband's a pastor, and now you're supposed to start the women's ministry. And they're like, hey, wait, I've been raising the kids. And so we have something for them, as well as a youth ministry degree that we're starting right now.
Wow.
That's going to be a really good thing
huge
for people who stay in ministry where they're at, where they're planted in their local church, and yet still get that training and equipping.
Yeah. So, Dave Rolph, is it ever too late to pursue a degree?
No, it really isn't. I mean, unless you decide it's too late to learn.
Yeah.
Because I think we should all be students for life.
Yeah.
And there's nothing like the discipline of having work that you need to do to keep you at it. And so it would be great if people were just self-taught and constantly motivated, but for a lot of people, it helps when there's a deadline, it helps when there's accountability. And, one of my favorite lines in a Bob Dylan song is, "He not busy being born is busy dying." And I would say that about ministry and about life, is that when you stop being born, you've begun to die.
Yeah.
And, you can start to coast when you get to a certain point in your life, or you can decide, I want to benefit from everything I've learned and continue to move forward. So I think as the designated old person on the panel, it's never too late.
Actually, for a designated old person, you did a great job with you were on that panel. Were you on the panel last year? last year there was
I don't know. I was on a panel.
There was a panel about transition.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
And
Yeah,
we
that was
put
a lot of fun.
together, and ended up being transcribed, and there was a bunch of people that downloaded that book and downloaded it in book form. That was a part of your own education, just pursuing that topic.
Yes, my doctoral dissertation is on pastoral succession in Calvary Chapel churches, and so something I've been thinking about a lot for the last, ever since I got old.
Yeah, wow, that's great. So, as you look at the future of Calvary Chapel University and just the potential that exists, what would you encourage the viewers to consider it, just in terms of their own? There's people that are they're not involved in full-time ministry, but they're curious as a whole.
I would really echo what Dave Rolph said, how every person just needs to have some kind of commitment to ongoing learning. And look, not every form fits for every person, but I'll tell you this, Calvary Chapel University fits for a lot of people. And it's deliberately molded to be adaptable and helpful to a wide range of people. That's the one thing I'd say. And the other thing I would say is people should understand Calvary Chapel University, it's serious. This isn't just kind of a fly-by-night, let's put it together. It's just, listen, as part of the board, and Dave's on the board as well, I mean, we know there's a serious commitment to developing a very legitimate, viable institution. It already is. Mm-hmm. Now it's just continuing that line of progress. Yeah. And it's something that people can have a lot of confidence in.
Yeah.
And I think being Calvary Chapel is very unique because every other school has a different agenda of what they're trying to do, what they're trying to promote. And I think, Christians can benefit from education anywhere, but anywhere you go for education, you'll have to explain Calvary Chapel to them because they'll think that they understand Calvary Chapel and they don't. Some things they'll hold against you, but in an educational environment where people know what Calvary Chapel means, it cuts to the chase and allows you to really tackle real issues.
Yeah, amen. Well, I know that what you're talking about in terms of just the quality of education, ever since I've known Calvary Chapel University, and in the past I've had more of a hand in it than I do now, the whole idea was to stage the college and position it so that it could become accredited if it wanted to. And in order to be accredited, there is just the accountability that comes with that, and they hold you to a certain standards, a series. In fact, that's what they're called. It's your standards that are in these different areas of finances and academics and a whole range of areas. And Calvary Chapel University has worked from the very beginning to put itself in a position where it has had high standards. And
basically accreditation, they make sure that you do what you say you do.
Right.
Yeah.
It's just to avoid fraud.
Exactly.
And so we're moving in that direction. We were actually heading towards regional accreditation, but the offices just moved from Calvary Fort Lauderdale. And so as a result, we're checking into TRACS accreditation in the meantime, and then when we settle into exactly where the central office is going to be, then we will go after regional accreditation again, because that's ultimately the one that that is the most helpful, because everyone will take transfer credits, and so that's our desire to move in that direction. But in the meantime, we want to be accountable, so TRACS accreditation is a good way to do that.
That's great. Well, I appreciate you guys stopping by.
Josh.
Thank you for giving a word to Calvary Chapel University. I appreciate it.
Thank you.